And we have a very special guest now with us on the Boucher Smart Buy line. We love talking to funny people. He's going to be in Madison November 2nd at the Barrymore Theater. Get your tickets now before they sell out. BarrymoreLive.com is where you go for that. He is Jim Breuer, and we say good morning. Jim, thanks for coming on, man. How you doing?
Good morning, good morning. This will be my third time in Madison, Wisconsin in a year.
In a year?
In a year. The first time I came through was with Metallica.
How was that, by the way? Yeah, that was...
It didn't suck. It did not suck. It may have been the greatest gig I ever had. It was like traveling with a president. We completely took over the town. To watch them play every night and the way they do it, I mean, they're a tight-knit machine. They would rehearse 40 to 45 minutes before every single show, right before they went up. Their work regimen, I was really beside myself watching them. It explained everything to me. Like, oh, this is why they're one of the greatest bands of all time. Now I get it.
That makes me feel really bad about what I bring to the table for the show.
And you're a big fan. So, like, looking back when you started doing stand-up in the 80s, if we had told young Jim Breuer that someday you would not only be opening for Metallica, but you'd be like friends with those guys. Crazy, right?
Yeah. If you told me going to see Metallica opening for Ozzy, and I'm there for Ozzy in 1986 as this 19-year-old jackass with my dangling cross earring and intoxicated, ready to start my own island of heavy metal and whatever my thought. And then if you told that kid right there that day, I'd be like, "Why? You guys are crazy. What is this, a movie?" So it's amazing how life works when you put yourself out there. It really is. But they are. You know what, too? I've met a lot of people, especially years ago when I was on Saturday Night Live and stuff like that. Ball players, famous people, politicians. And most of the time you go, okay. A lot of times you go, wow, that was nothing what I expected, and a little disappointed. Metallica may have been one of the only, each band member and the band itself may have been one of the only idols that I get to meet, and then I have a deeper respect for.
Well, that's what you want to hear, right? Because a lot of times you meet your heroes and they disappoint you. So I'm glad that's not the case with them. And we wish James nothing but the best. He's going through some stuff right now.
Yep.
All right,
He'll be fine.
There's no easy segue when we talk about that, but you are coming to
No.
You are coming to Madison for the third time this year.
I was on Comedy on the State months ago, and it sold out so quick. We said, let's do the next tour. When we announced the tour, can I go back to Madison? And sure enough, this will be the only place that I've been to 3 times in a year. So I'm pretty excited about going back to Madison. Years ago, I'd go there for the Farley Foundation and really enjoy. I have a lot of good memories in Madison, so I can't wait to go back.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that, because that was going to be one of my questions. I couldn't necessarily remember. You guys were on, right? Was it your first year? Was his last year? Or were you on a couple of years together with Farley?
No. He was gone when I got on, but he hosted right before he passed with us.
And you knew, so you knew him a little bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, not, we're not hanging out, but yeah, we got to spend some time together, and I got to see the genius of him, and I got to talk to the good soul that is Chris Farley, the human being that was born and raised there, not the entertainer, and I got to see his family and all that, and the human side. And when you see that, it's a little deeper than just, oh, there's the funny guy.
Mm-hmm.
I get to see the really amazing part of Chris.
Well, he's a hero of mine. Did you have a chance to see the Sandler song? That was a gut punch.
No,
you haven't seen that? You got to watch that, dude. It's one of the best tribute songs of all time.
I want to listen when I hang up. What is it called?
It's the Chris Farley song, and he did it on his Netflix special, and then when he went back to SNL. They closed with it, and
goosebumps.
Man. As somebody like you having worked there, I would love to see what you think of that, because I thought it was just amazing.
God, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch that.
It's a tough watch, but it's worth it.
Definitely. So I know that you got new material. I'm wondering though. We played one of your bits earlier, and it's one I think of the funniest bits I've ever seen any comedian ever do. You are a great storyteller. You just have a knack for telling really good stories. The alcohol bit. Does that ever?
Oh yeah, it's an old one.
That one, and then I watched. A fan sent me one of you. I think it was on Comedy Central. I don't know how long ago this was.
Long live paint.
Yes, and it was like a 30-minute bit, but it was just epic about you calling it a bomb threat to Sears when you worked there back in the day.
Yes. All true stuff. Who would have thought? I just take real life scenarios but yeah, I do. I've got 3 different hours that I'm working on the road, so that's the pleasure I get for not putting a special out the last couple of years. However, I don't even know what I'm coming to Madison with. I remember what I did at Comedy on the State, and most likely I'll be doing a completely different hour. Every show has maybe 1 or 2, 3 things that I think I'm gonna do, but every place that I come into seems to have a different energy. So I go with that energy. I'm really love going off the cuff, and when I know what I think I'm going to talk about, it really helps being natural and going off the cuff, and I love doing that.
Get your tickets now, BarrymoreLive.com. Jim Breuer will be there on Saturday night, November 2nd. So we're kind of going all over the board because you've had a long career, and I've got all kinds of questions for you. Grizz, pop in at any time.
Yeah, no, there was a minute there, man, and I feel bad because, like, I think it was 2015. I hated you for a minute, man. It was,
the Mets? Were you Cubs fans?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. How did you read my mind?
Until you said hated in 2015, I went, oh, he's a Cubs fan. and you know what? And you were the banana Cub fan that I know the exact moment too, because I remember looking at the camera and go, okay, the Cubs played really well. And now, if you're a Cub fan, stop watching the video.
Yep.
But people like you continue. So I warned you not to watch.
Exactly.
And I said, Chicago's the cleanest city in the world because it just got swept. And that moment had people like you like, oh, never see you again. You were a good comedian, but how dare you?
Oh, man.
I warned you, jackass.
You did. You did. Your emphasis on Daniel Murphy and why we were pitching to him. Oh, it hurts so deep. But
how would you pitch to? What are you thinking?
I couldn't stay mad at you, though, man. I couldn't stay mad at you.
Of course not, because you won the next year.
Yeah,
we did.
So you feel better.
And they haven't shut up about it since, Jim, let me tell you.
Well-deserved. Come on, 100 years, let them have it.
All right, so going back to SNL, and you say you met a lot of people over the years. One of the best impressions I think you did was of Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Who I love.
Got a new movie coming out. I don't know if you've seen it. Irish. Al Pacino's in that thing, De Niro's in that thing, everybody's in that thing. I thought I never worked again. I thought I was doing peanut Snicker commercials the rest of my life. I wasn't doing that. Disrespectful. I got Breuer's kids saying, isn't that the guy from the Snickers commercials? They're famous. Where are we? Like, you don't know me from my movie.
Wasn't that the Joe Pesci show? That was the setup, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Did
he? It really was just a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Basically, every guest that comes on is going to get beat. Just how they're going to get beat, and it's like, duh, Bugs Bunny's going to win again. Who saw this sketch coming?
Did you ever meet him then?
Huh?
Did you ever meet him or have to do the impression in front of him?
Oh, yeah. No, he came on.
Oh, that had to be a little intimidating. Because he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that always has rolls with the punches necessarily.
Well, listen, between you and I, where I grew up with these guys. So I know it all exists.
Yeah.
And I know it's very, very, very close to the real thing. And so I will say, when he wanted to meet me the day before, the week we were doing the sketch, he wanted to come in, and him and De Niro are going to come on. De Niro's never been on live TV. So he meets me in a dressing room, and he looks like he's straight off the set from Goodfellas. And he goes, "You going to thank me for giving you a career?" That's really funny, blah, blah, blah. And then it went to, "Are you Italian?" I said, "No, I'm not Italian, but I grew up with Italian." I didn't ask you if you grew up with Italian. I asked you if you're Italian. And that is a moment where he made a left turn, and he started talking about, where do I get my couillons big enough to say words like guinea and wop and dago, and that's when I realized I don't think he's kidding. And
oh my God, this is like the I'm Funny House scene, like in real life.
Yes, it really, on my life, and I'm not even making this up. I was in the real life Funny How moment.
Oh my God!
And I also know that he collects for, if you ever see Jersey Boys. He's been around a long time. He still collects money from what's his name. So I know these guys. I'm not saying he's won, but
you're not saying he's not.
I felt like it at that moment, and there was a split second where I went, "I'm going to pop him and just leave the country because he'll wake up in about 20 minutes. I'll hit him so hard he won't know I'll hit him, and I'll live in Mexico the rest of my life, or I'm going to have to pay him the rest of my life." And then toward the end, I just apologized. I said, "Listen, I never meant to disrespect you. If you really listen to the sketch, I'd never call an Italian a word. It's in character. I always accuse the other person of it, which is why I beat them down. I go, I grew up watching you, and I started saying Raging Bull, Easy Money, and I was saying all the things that I loved and adored him from, and I could tell he knew I was a true fan." And then when I was done with that spiel, and I said, "Forget the sketch, I'll never do it again, and forget this one." And he went, "Oh my God, you're from Long Island, I'm busting your horns here. I mean, you don't know how to bust your horns? I thought that's what we hear. We're busting each other's chops." And then he was totally fine. He was fine after that. But boy, he literally did the Goodfellas scene with me.
Wow.
It was crazy.
That's one of my favorite stories of all time right there.
Man,
I love that.
Put the fear of God in you.
Yeah, never
really
has
did.
Somebody so small been so intimidating. That guy, 5 foot nothing, but he can scare the crap out of you. All right.
Yeah.
So I got to know, too, I think I already know the answer to this, and it's going to disappoint me, but I'm going to ask anyway. Were you guys smoking real weed for Half-Baked? Or
No.
What about Snoop?
The only person that did was Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
I can't speak for Dave the whole time.
Yeah.
There was union people there nonstop, and there was only, there was some weird South American alfalfa thing.
That's got to be worse for you than just smoking the actual weed, I would think, whatever you guys were smoking.
Well, listen, the minute my day was done, I got to really be my character. But during filming, never was I high. There was one scene that I was, and you can YouTube that when I finish. It's on my special, Let's Clear the Air. Mm-hmm. It's a true story. They cut me for the day. I was done, and I wasn't coming back for 5 days. I was flying to New York City, and all of a sudden they needed me back on the set because what's his name, Clarence Williams, was having a hissy fit and quitting. That movie was going to come to an end. He was quitting. So unless we filmed all the scenes with him in it for the next 24 hours, he was leaving the set.
Which one was that?
Screwed.
Was that Harlan?
Samson. Right?
The bad guy, Samson.
Oh, Samson was going to quit. All right.
Oh, dude, he was screaming at everyone, yelling at everyone. This movie's garbage. You actors, he was calling me amateurs, and I had to come on the set, and I was peaking, and I mean peaking. And in the past when I would do that, the last thing I want to do is be around people. I would get crazy paranoid. I don't trust everyone's part of the government.
I know exactly how he feels, man.
And so now they got me on the set, and I'm like, oh, my God, this is a setup. And it was bad. It took me 40 takes to say, sucks to be you, man. That's all I had to say. Yeah, so watch you'll get a kick.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking that up right when we're done here. That was great. So what was it like working with Chappelle, too? I mean, we forget that that was you and Dave Chappelle carried a movie.
Yeah, and he was in a couple movies before that.
Like Sleepless in Seattle, wasn't he in one? Or You've Got Mail?
Well, no, he was in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
Yeah, Con Air.
Yeah, Con Air.
Screwed with Norm Macdonald too.
That's right.
Yeah. So he was in a couple, but this was his. We were both running around Hollywood pitching a weed movie. Mine was a road weed movie. And we pitched not knowing to the same producer. And that producer said, Chappelle's out here, and he wrote a script, and we really like the script. I don't know if you know him. Like, what? And so Dave then approached me at Caroline's Comedy Club in New York and said, hey, man, would you be in this weed movie with me? And I went, of course. But I didn't think it was going to get made. The whole thing was about pot. In 1998, I was like, oh, God, they're writing about marijuana and they're not Cheech and Chong. Oh, my God. And I can't believe the movie didn't do well in theaters because it was up against Titanic, As Good as It Gets, and Good Will Hunting.
Well, you got my money opening weekend. So twice, actually.
Well, yeah, the people we got it. But, boy, when it went to video... Woo, doggy.
There was a scene.
I did not negotiate that well.
There was a scene that got cut from the movie. I remember it from the trailer where, like,
I know what you're going to say, hopping the meters.
Oh, man, dude, how are you in my head this morning? This is crazy.
I know exactly what, because everyone said, what happened to the hopping the meter scene? I'm like, dude, I don't edit. I don't know. I have nothing to do with that. I mean, I just show up on the set. They say, cut, action, here's your check, go home. That's it.
Well, it's a weed movie. You think a nut shot would be perfect for it, It
was funny. I know. I remember that. I don't know why they cut it out. I don't know.
Hippie scums.
Is it even in the director's cut? I haven't seen that movie since 1998.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
I just watched it the other day.
Yeah, man. Right? I've seen it probably 7,000 times.
It holds up.
Good. That's another 3 cents, I think, unless it's on cable.
Oh man, hey, you are the best, Jim. You know what? It's like meeting Metallica. You did not disappoint.
Well, do me a favor. Come to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's way more fun hanging out than. I mean, this is fun, but come to the show. Come
absolutely,
hang out.
Man.
You sold me, man. I'll be there.
Then we can hang out.
All right, BarrymoreLive.com.
That's where
you need to go.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it.